The anime starts with a blue-haired girl named Natsuru Sino running away from her attacker, who is trying to kill Natsuru with a gun, but she escapes and reaches her home where she questions herself why she turned into a girl. A plush toy named Harakiri Tora informs her that she has been chosen to become a Kampfer, and as Kampfers are supposed to be girls, whenever the bracelet will blink, Natsuru will become a girl, which causes Natsuru to have a little mental breakdown, and she decides to sleep, and the doll helps her by kicking her in the face and knocking her out. When she wakes up, she turns back to being a boy. On his way to school, Natsuru tries to catch the bus but misses and decides to wait with his crush named Sakura Kaedo. His bracelet starts glowing and he realizes that yesterday wasn't a dream, so he decides to run, but before he can escape, the same red-haired girl named Akane Mishima suddenly appears and starts attacking Natsuru, but Natsuru counters her attacks by releasing a fireball at her in surprise. The fireball causes a nearby pool to almost hit Akane, but Natsuru comes to her rescue, making Akane a bit flustered, and she leaves. After the short fight, Natsuru also runs towards the school, leaving Sakura behind. At school, Natsuru's friend Makito Higashida tells him that a girl outside wants to see him, and the girl reveals that she is the red-haired girl who attacked him earlier. But she is now a shy and apologetic librarian, as the one talking aggressively and attacking him is her Kampfer version. She also explains that there are two types of Kampfer, blue and red, and each carries one of three weapons: a gun, magic power Zauber, or Schwert. Shortly after, Natsuru tries to grab a German dictionary for her, but they are interrupted by student council president named Shizuku. Natsuru's bracelet begins to flash again, and he is escorted to the roof of the female side of the school by Akane, where they talk about their transformations, and Akane informs her that there are two reasons why they transform, one of them being that there is Kampfer nearby, and second, they can also change their form by their own will through some training. On the way home from school, Natsuru reverts to a boy and is called out by Sakura, who he thinks will finally confess to him. Instead, Sakura shares her feelings about the female version of himself, unaware that they are the same person. The next day, as Natsuru and Akane talk, they find themselves under attack by another Kampfer who uses a saw blade weapon that cuts through walls and shelves like paper. As they fight, Akane watches Sakura near them and thinks that she might be the Kampfer, making her shoot at Sakura. But Natsuru intervenes and saves Sakura, who faints, but as the Kampfer still attacks them, they realize that there is another person nearby. The school bell rings, making the mysterious Kampfer leave, and Natsuru decides to take Sakura to the school infirmary. As she goes towards the infirmary, she realizes that being a girl has given her the privilege to get into the girls' side. Even though their school is co-ed, there is a strict rule to separate both sides. After dropping Sakura off and completing his school day, he gets home to receive a letter from his childhood friend named Mikoto Kondo, who is enjoying her trip. At home, Natsuru shares what happened at school with Tora, who informs that it's inevitable that other Kampfers will appear in the same area, and that it is the fault of moderators who have selected this kind of situation. The next day, Akane and Natsuru get called by the student council president, who asks them about the commotion that happened yesterday at the library, but as the duo tries to act oblivious, Shizuku catches them and decides to let them go as it was a girl who caused this disaster. After that, the duo meets with Sakura, who is eagerly waiting to meet up with the girl who saved her, and asks Natsuru to set up a meeting. Unable to refuse, Natsuru tells her that he will set their meeting for tomorrow, making Akane feel sad. Natsuru invites Akane over to his house to discuss what he should do about the situation, but she initially misunderstands his intention. Natsuru decides to try to make Sakura hate his female version, but his plan backfires when Sakura confesses her feelings for him, causing an insecure Natsuru to run away. When he returns, he finds Shizuku Sango, who reveals herself as the enemy Kampfer. After exchanging a few words, Natsuru and Akane try to run away, but they come to a dead end and have no choice but to fight. Akane uses herself as a decoy so Natsuru can focus on firing his Zuber at Shizuku, but she easily cuts it in half. After that, Natsuru comes up with a plan to set off the fire sprinklers, which is successful. However, Natsuru stops Akane from attacking Shizuku and makes a deal with her to let Shizuku be at peace. Shizuku shares that she just wants to know who is behind this, and this is the reason that she is taking part in this game. The next day, Shizuku orders Natsuru to join the girls' side, as the rumor of a new girl is getting out of hand and Natsuru should take responsibility. During the first day of school for Natsuru after transferring, the teacher decides where she should sit when a commotion occurs. As a girl approaches Natsuru, the class representative suggests that Natsuru sit next to him, but Sakura intervenes and leads Natsuru away from the crowd, claiming that the student council president Shizuku has asked her to take care of Natsuru. As they walk down the hall alone, Sakura confesses her love for Natsuru, who becomes anxious as his bracelet begins to blink. Without answering, Natsuru runs to the roof and begins to panic about being discovered as a guy on the girl's side. Suddenly, the bracelet stops flashing and Akane appears from behind. After receiving advice from Akane in Kampfer form that Natsuru should go towards the library, he returns to class where all the girls are now admiring the female version of him. Suddenly, a student from the press club, Masumi, visits and takes Natsuru away, where she starts interrogating the female version of Natsuru, trying to dig up some dirt. Later, a document is released, revealing that Natsuru is interested in girls and is a lesbian, which leads to Natsuru becoming even more popular with the girls. And the class president sees this as an opportunity to make money by collecting funds from people to see Natsuru. Feeling overwhelmed, Natsuru tries to escape, but is caught by the president, who assigns more tasks, but Natsuru still runs off. While leaving school, Natsuru gets ambushed by 3 girls who tie her up and decide to use this opportunity to their advantage, making Natsuru feel embarrassed. After that, when Natsuru returns home, exhausted and in Kampfer mode, he receives another postcard from Mikoto, who informs him about yet another trip. Later, Akane visits Natsuru with cake, but when Natsuru leans in, she mistakes it for a kiss, causing some embarrassment and making her leave. The next day, another group of girls ambushes Natsuru, and Sakura steps in to save him, claiming that Natsuru only loves one girl and is not some kind of a showpiece, making the girls finally leave him in peace. At lunch, Shizuku joins Natsuru and Sakura and makes things even more complicated by claiming that female Natsuru is dating his male version, causing Sakura to run off. This ironic and confusing rumor of Natsuru dating Natsuru spreads quickly, and the heartbroken girls start to gather around her. But at the same time, the bracelet starts to blink, making Natsuru escape, and he ends up in the library, where he meets Akane. As Akane approaches Natsuru, she trips and falls on top of Natsuru, which leads to yet another awkward situation, as Sakura sees them together and thinks that they are dating. After Sakura's confession, Natsuru is sitting alone and feels uncomfortable, while the other boys are excited about the upcoming festival. Higashida approaches Natsuru and informs him that one of the 3 beauties is rumored to be competing, and he is the self-proclaimed special advisor of the Hadi Research Club. However, Natsuru is revealed to be involved, causing him to run off to confront the president of the council on why he has to compete. Shizuku explains that it's what's best for the school, despite Natsuru claiming he'd rather not participate. Shizuku then hooks him away for another shoulder rub, but the situation accidentally turns awkward, causing Natsuru to walk away in horror. Shizuku thanks him and then tells Natsuru to close his eyes, only for him to catch her leaning in to kiss him. At which point Akane storms in, and as a result, Natsuru still has to attend the beauty pageant. At Natsuru's house, both plush toys laugh at him for having to compete in a beauty pageant, while Akane apologizes for her actions. They discuss what Natsuru can do for the pageant, and since he has no special talent, Akane suggests singing. Meanwhile, Tora mentions what clothes he should wear, specifically mentioning underwear. The next day, Akane and Natsuru meet up for shopping, and Natsuru immediately dismisses Akane's choices. However, Shizuku also shows up, much to Akane's dismay. Natsuru tells Shizuku that it's her fault he has to spend money on a bra, so Shizuku offers to help. But Akane ends up dragging Natsuru away after shopping. Sakura shows up after being invited by Shizuku, and the group heads towards the karaoke bar. Sakura and Akane fight over who will sing a duet with Natsuru, so Shizuku suggests a competition to decide the winner. Shizuku goes first, followed by Sakura and finally Akane. Natsuru remembers the last postcard he received after thinking he is surrounded by 3 of them, and they tell him to pick a winner, which he calls a draw. Shizuku then leaves saying he has to make a call, and Akane goes to the bathroom, leaving Natsuru alone with Sakura, who demands an answer for her feelings. But Natsuru's bracelet starts to blink again, causing him to go outside. Ah, that poor girl. Natsuru closes the door behind him, but the bracelet continues to blink. Suddenly, Shizuku appears, and Natsuru begs her to transform into Kampfer form so that he can stay with them. Shizuku obliges, and they continue to talk. Meanwhile, Akane returns and starts arguing with Sakura about Natsuru, which makes Sakura decide that she will also enter the beauty pageant to confess her love for Natsuru. Akane, not wanting to be left behind, also decides to participate in the contest. Shizuku sees the competition as an opportunity to help Natsuru, so she decides to join in as well. As the preparation for the cultural festival starts to take the final turn, some of the boys also decide to try their luck at going to the girls' side, just to get attacked by a girls' mercenary group. On the other hand, as girls make something to display at the festival, their experiments take a horrible turn, but they still manage to overcome it. At Natsuru's end, her whole class decides to show their support towards Natsuru and Akane for participating in the beauty contest, and offers them different clothes to try on. but the main goal for the class president is to earn money by taking pictures. As Natsuru and Akane change into their school uniform in a room, Sakura barges in, but Akane comes to Natsuru's rescue by claiming that Natsuru is in love with someone else, which disheartens Sakura and she leaves. After the hectic day at school, Natsuru meets up with Sakura and tries to cheer her up by claiming that the female Natsuru is just confused and she might come to terms with her feelings too. This makes Sakura feel a bit better, as she leaves by saying that even though Natsuru is the one who made her feel better, she still thinks of him as her rival. The next day, the festival starts and the female Natsuru watches Sakura and starts to plan his wedding with her, but his thoughts are interrupted by Akane, who asks Sakura to leave with her as they are ready. The competition starts and Natsuru is the one to make her first appearance in male clothes, but as the crowd asks her to perform something, she feels overwhelmed. Sakura comes to her rescue and performs a skit with her, which takes an awkward turn when Sakura confesses her feelings and tries to kiss Natsuru. Akane barges into her Kampfer form and tries to attack Sakura, but Natsuru helps her by dodging the bullets and tries to reason with Akane, who doesn't listen to him, and the audience thinks of it as a part of a skit, making everyone cheer as the show goes on. Akane finally gets close to Sakura with her gun pointed at her head, but Shizuku intervenes in her Kampfer form to make the best use of the situation and uses this opportunity to take the lead when she makes the three of them faint by using her ability, which makes the audience cheer and she wins the contest. Natsuru wakes up and finds herself in his original form and asks Shizuku if she planned everything that happened at the show, but Shizuku claims that she never intended that and only did so as her last resort. Shizuku then asks Natsuru to thank her, but immediately uses the opportunity to kiss him on his lips, which leaves Natsuru speechless as it was his first kiss. At the entrance of the school, Mikoto gets angry as she tries to find Natsuru, but he is nowhere to be found. But suddenly, a plush toy appears in front of her that she takes with her and leaves. Natsuru dreams about kissing Sakura, but his dream takes a turn when the one kissing him is Shizuku and he wakes up. As soon as he wakes up, he smells some good food, and the knock on the door makes him realize that his childhood friend Mikoto is here. Mikoto serves him breakfast and complains that she didn't get the chance to meet him yesterday, but Natsuru decides to ignore it and both get ready for school as they wait for the bus to arrive. Akane watches them from afar and gets angry, but as Akane gets close, Mikoto realizes that Akane is her childhood friend, and Mikoto also shares that she had known Natsuru when they were kids, which upsets Akane and she leaves them. As Akane leaves, Mikoto asks Natsuru about the commotion of female Natsuru and asks about his relationship with her, which he completely denies. Mikoto also asks about Sakura, but Natsuru's bracelets start to blink, so he runs to save himself from the embarrassment. As Natsuru gets to school, the class president and others take him to the classroom where they have arranged a maid's cafe as it's the second day of the cultural festival. The class decides to use Natsuru as their trophy maid and has put an extra price on when she will serve the customers, making Natsuru feel a bit embarrassed. As the day continues, Natsuru has to serve one of his friends who asks Natsuru to be a part of his photo shoot, but the class rep intervenes and acts as her manager, sharing the details of the contract if he wants Natsuru to be a part of his photo shoot. After that, the class rep informs Natsuru that a VIP guest is arriving soon who has already reserved her to serve her coffee and accompany her. The VIP guest turns out to be Shizuku, who uses this opportunity to make Natsuru feel embarrassed, asking her to sit down with her. Soon after, Shizuku claims that a new Kampfer has joined the fight and she will make her appearance soon as she is also from their school, which startles Natsuru. Shizuku further claims that she thinks Sakura is the one behind making Kampfer, and this is the reason she is trying to keep tabs on her, and asks Natsuru to wait as Sakura arrives. The trio sits on the VIP seat, which makes the cafe more crowded, and the class rep immediately increases the coffee rate. Soon, Shizuku asks a different question from Sakura as she thinks she will utter something which will clear her doubts, but she acts oblivious, so Shizuku decides to tease both of them and claims that Sakura can use her any way she wants. So Sakura asks Natsuru to become her date for a day, and they spend the day enjoying different things. But as they get into a haunted house, Natsuru gets attacked by the new Kampfer, and he takes the battle outside, leaving Sakura behind. As the new Kampfer attacks Natsuru, Akane comes to his rescue and takes the fight to the next level. Shizuku also joins, and the group realizes that the new Kampfer is Mikoto, which startles Natsuru as he reveals his true form. After that, Mikoto shares that she got the plush toy from Sakura, which makes Shizuku's doubts clear, and she thinks Sakura is behind all of this. And on this mysterious note, our recap for today comes to an end. The ability to transform into a girl. What a superpower. Who do you think is behind this whole Kampfer thing? Can it really be Sakura? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and thank you for staying till the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Any Recapped for more awesome animes like this to watch on your feed. With that said, we'll see you in the next one. Peace!